Finally, the fans are back in stadiums. From the 8th of April, fans will be back up to 50% capacity, which is usually the attendance actually in South African football. And for Kaizer Chiefs, since we're out of the Nedbank Cup, that means our first match with fans will be on the 16th of April against SuperSport United. Now, I am happy and concerned at the same time. Here's why I'm happy, because I've been wanting fans to come back to stadiums. Problem though is the fact that the next two fixtures could prove problematic. First up, this coming Saturday we are playing against Chippa away, and we lose or we draw that fixture, it will continue to make Kaizer Chiefs fans angry, and the longer we keep Baxter, the angrier the fans become. On the 5th, we played home against TS Galaxy, and we know our history with TS Galaxy. They just like whooping us. And if that happens on the 5th, and then we play SuperSport on the 16th in front of our fans, what do you think will happen, Kaizer Chiefs? Just tell me, what do you think will happen? Fire Baxter now, save everyone the trouble of violence. People are angry already. We do not want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. 7 years without a trophy is a big deal. Keeping a coach who's underperforming while you have a better option at the very same technical team doesn't make sense. If Kaizer Chiefs was really smart, if anything bad happens this coming weekend, if we don't win the game against Chippa, then they should dismiss Baxter, because then Zwana will take over the game against Galaxy and then be ready for the fans when they come back. But if they don't, they are just setting themselves up for disaster. Now we move on to Bafana Bafana. Let's be honest, I wasn't expecting Bafana Bafana to win, but come on, 5-0 and to lose in that manner. No. The only thing we did was try to build up, but then from there was nothing. France was pressing us, and I will address that, because the same problem that I observed with Bafana Bafana is the same thing that I observed with Kaizer Chiefs. If you look behind me, you will see how many triangles are formed between the players of the team that is playing a 4-3-3. You always have two options, two people you can pass the ball to. The problem though with what I'm showing you behind me is that I'm showing you in an ideal situation where there is no one pressing. When big teams like France start pressing you, they use cover shadows. What is a cover shadow? So basically a cover shadow is when a player who's marking or pressing positions themselves in a way that they are between the person who has the ball and the person who wants to receive the ball. And what we do, which confuses me, because we're always told, since I started playing football as a kid, is that when you don't have the ball, try to make yourself available to the person who's holding the ball. It amazes me to see footballers who are getting paid each month to play football not knowing this very same principle. If you don't have the ball, make yourself available to the person who has the ball. And what they are forcing, they try to run forward. Why are you running forward? Where are you going? Because your teammate is pressed. It doesn't make sense for a winger to continue running down the line if the right back has the ball. Come short, collect the ball. The midfielders, sometimes when I watched him yesterday, it was like he's trying to run away from the ball while the ball is with the center back, and all of them are trying to run forward. Where are you going? Where are you going forward? Try to keep the ball first, and then we can talk about going forward, because there is no point of kicking the ball. The problem that we have with South African football is that it's so slow. Sometimes you watch a big team like Kaizer Chiefs and you watch such a boring match. And then you go to the Premier League, you watch Crystal Palace against Brentford, and then that match is more entertaining than the best team in South Africa, used to be the best team in South Africa, failing to make 3 passes just because they can't get around people marking with cover shadows. What is wrong with you? Have you not been taught how to play the ball if you don't have the ball? Because in football, you don't just play the ball when you have the ball, but you also play the ball when you don't have the ball. And Bafana Bafana just embarrassed us, because the thing is, it's not about just losing, it's the manner in which you lost. They are too slow on the ball. You are playing France. This is not Sekukuni, no offense, but you are playing a big nation. And that's when I saw that we really don't deserve to be in the World Cup. We don't deserve to be in the AFCON, because they were going to ruin us even in the AFCON. You can't play two passes. You can't come short and support. What's with this mentality of which the ball must always go forward? If the move is not allowing, don't force it. Learn to play the ball first before doing anything else. And that's the problem that we have here in South Africa, is that even the players that are in the national team, it's not because they are the best players, but they are just better than the rest. And when you take the players who are better than the rest and then you put them to play in the national team, then you're like, oh, we thought they were the best. But now they're facing the best in France. And you get exposed that the players that we think are such high quality, then they look like kids. And the very performance that we put out yesterday shows why so many South African players go to Europe and play 4 matches in 2 seasons. Because in Europe, it's not just about playing and how skilled you are, it's also about the hard work that you put in. The debate between who's better, Ronaldo or Messi, could have been settled a long time ago if it was just purely based on talent. But when it comes to talent, Messi has the edge. He's better than Ronaldo in that regard. But Ronaldo uses the talent that he has, which is, in my opinion, less than Messi's. But then, by putting more hard work, it ends up making him compete with Messi. And our players will just depend on the fact that, oh, I can trap the ball. Oh, ngiyakwazi ukudriblisha uNyawuza when I'm playing against Pirates. But uNyawuza is not Varane. If you are playing against Nyawuza, you can dribble past Nyawuza easily. But when you face Varane, he knows how to mark. No offense against Nyawuza, I just picked a random defender out of my head. Now, that's the same thing that I'm saying. We have players who are better than the rest South African players, but who are not really at the level of competing at the highest level of football. And that's why we got exposed like we did yesterday. Even for France, it was a friendly, but you saw what they were putting in the effort. And you know what annoys me? You are playing against France, and after the match, you have lost 5-0. And the first thing you're thinking about are selfies. Are you kidding me? Like, honestly, the first thing that you want are selfies. What that tells me is that even during the match, you couldn't wait to take a selfie with Mbappe. What's your problem? You just embarrassed your entire nation, and the only thing that you're thinking about is a selfie. You are not reflecting on your performance. If it wasn't for Williams, we could have lost the match 8-0, 9, 10. But all our players were thinking about is a selfie with Mbappe. Come on, guys, come on. You can do better than this. Because I know with him, the players that we have, they are talented enough. They just need to put in the work. And our South African players, they don't put in the work. That's why they go to Europe and only play 4 games in 2 seasons. And it annoys me because that is why Europe will continue to undermine our tournaments like the AFCON, some of them refusing to let go players to come and play in the AFCON because they undermine our football. Because when you go to the World Cup, we only allowed 5 teams, and we are allowed 5 teams, rightfully so, because even if you go there and then you have all your 5 teams getting eliminated in the group stage, what's the representation of Africa? What's that saying about Africa? And what is it saying about our country? After losing 5-0, the first thing they're thinking about are selfies. This was not a hard-fought defeat or win by France. It wasn't a hard-fought win for them. It was just cruising. It was just cruising. They were feeling so free, and all these guys were thinking about is a selfie. I feel like we shouldn't be talking about this. We shouldn't be talking about Tugutumvala was running away from the ball. We shouldn't. We just shouldn't. These are the things that we shouldn't. And I'm not isolating Umvala yet. It's because there are a lot of defensive players. When it comes to building up from the back, our defensive midfielders play a huge role in that. They drop, collect the ball, and start spreading the ball. But even if they do drop, ngeke kusize if there's no one else coming short to get the ball. Thina nje sijabuka ukuya phambili. Uzoya kanjani phambili? There's no one there. There's only one isolated striker against world-class defenders. So what's the rush with going forward? What did you think of Bafana Bafana's performance? Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think should be done? Because every other coach that comes in, we are building. Everyone is saying we're building. When did we start building, and when are we going to get to a point where we say this is the structure? Because I feel like this should be SAFA's responsibility. Like, okay, we're going to play players of this age, of this range. We are building with these people. But you are building with a 33-year-old. What are they still learning? What is a 33-year-old still learning? This is not to say kick them out, but it's to say if there's a 33-year-old playing in your squad, you are expecting better. The mistake that is made by a 20-year-old cannot be expected to be made by a 33-year-old. There is a 13-year age difference there. And that means you've been playing football way longer than the 20-year-old, but you can't be making the same mistakes that the 23-year-old is making. Safa, come on. Let me know what you thought of Bafana Bafana's performance and what do you think should be done to solve this thing of our national team being little boys, Bafana Bafana ngempela. Hi, bye-bye.